Hello, people. I just coming to share something that is laid on my heart. It's just been laying on my heart. I mean, when I say my heart is so heavy, my heart is like so heavy right now. I'm not really the one to really like be as open and share my business. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. Um, and at the times that we are in, like, everybody is dealing with something and going through something, and I'm just gonna be open, honest, and transparent, and just share what's on my heart, because when I say my heart is heavy, it is really, really heavy. You know, yeah, it's just, my heart is just heavy. Y'all, listen. Sometimes that hurt that you feel, that pain, that betrayal, sometimes it pushes you into your next. And what I mean by that is that, we all here for a purpose. Some of us is trying to find out what that purpose is. Some of us don't care. Some of us just lost out here and just thinking that we're not cared for, we're not loved. But God loves you more than you can ever imagine. A lot of times when we are hurt and betrayed, most of the times it's by people we know. It's not usually by someone that you really don't know, And, I've been through a whole lot. I'm 35 years old. I mean, I've been through a lot. If I get to sharing my testimony, you're going to be like, how are you still standing? But God, but God. My heart's so heavy, y'all, because when you get betrayed, I mean, the ultimate betrayal, the hurt, the pain, and it comes from your own children, that's a different type of hurt. I thought the pain from being molested, the pain, and I was molested 3 times. I thought the pain from being in an abusive relationship, I thought the pain from losing my brothers, just losing loved ones, being stabbed in the back by people who you was real genuine with and thought they was your friends, and they stabbed you in your back, and someone was jealous, some of them just didn't want you to win. I mean, just for different reasons that made no sense, when I would always root for them. I mean, I thought those things were showing up some pain. But to be betrayed by something you birthed in this world is a different type of pain. I mean, it's a different type of pain. I feel it to my core. My God. I feel suffocated. It's the worst pain ever. The worst pain ever. Now, I haven't always been saved. You know what I'm saying? I was raised in church when I was younger. I had the foundation. I knew of God, but I wasn't in a relationship. When I confessed God to be my Lord and Savior in my younger days, I didn't have the understanding. When I got baptized at 13, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know I wasn't really into it. You know, I just did it because my daddy had us in church and that's what we had to do. So I didn't, when I started raising my kids, I wasn't living a saved life. I wasn't into the things of God. I didn't raise them in church. I didn't, you know, I was of the world completely. I became a mother really young at the age of 16. And when I became a mother at the age of 16, I didn't know the first thing about being a mama. Not the first thing. And my oldest daughter, dad, he didn't even want the baby at all. And I told him, well, you ain't got to be here, but I'm going to take care of my child. And I'm having this baby. And so, you know, I was in high school and pregnant, 16, sick all the time, going to work and school. Was so sick, I barely was even going to school like that, to be honest with you. But, you know, I was like, this baby ain't asked to be here. And I did not believe in abortions whatsoever. So, even though he didn't want me to have the baby, I had her anyway. And I contemplated so much about dropping out of school, right? I was like, man, I ain't finna sit up here and go to school every day, go to work every day. I'm tired. Because at this point in time, I was pregnant, sick all the time, had to get up and go to school, go to work. I wanted to help my mom out because my mom was with 3 kids, struggling herself, and I saw that. And anyway, I went to school. I felt when I contemplated on dropping out of school, hold on, first of all, I was like, man, I'm just done. I can't do both. I can't go to school and be up all night with this child. She crying all the time and I'm tired. I'm getting off work, then got to turn around and go to school. I got to be up all times of the night, but that comes with the responsibility of what? Having a baby, right? I'm still young. Like I said, I don't know the first thing about being a mama. So I'm learning as I go, right? I felt my baby kick in my stomach. And when I felt that kick, I was like, my God, I got a whole life inside of me. I cannot stop. I have to go and finish school because we was taught that if we didn't have an education, we couldn't get this good type of jobs. We had to have some type of career, blah, blah, blah. You know, what they always used to tell us. There'll be nothing if you didn't have an education, if you didn't get, you know, graduate, all that type of stuff. So that always played in my mind. And I was like, my baby didn't ask to be here. How dare I give up and she didn't ask to be here? Despite, you know, whatever the challenges I was facing. So I pushed through, go to school, finish, get my diploma, have my baby. Had her first before I actually graduated, for one. Like I said, I got pregnant with her at 16. I had her at 17. So imagine, I'm still in school. I'm still in high school. And I was a young mother. And I grew with my child. I grew with all my kids. Then I met my other 3 kids' dad. I met him actually while I was still pregnant with my oldest daughter. But I was like, don't you see me carrying a whole baby? Like, who does that? Like, why are you hollering at me? So, you know, I'm like, I'll holler at you once I had this baby. You know, whatever. So, we did exchange numbers at that time, but we never talked because, again, I was carrying somebody else's baby, you know, and there's just some stuff you just don't do. So, whatever. After I had my baby, my oldest daughter, I ended up meeting, I ended up talking to my baby daddy, my other 3 kids' dad, the one who I met while I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. And when I ended up talking to him, my oldest daughter was 3 months old. Lala, she was 3 months old. And that's when me and him started talking. We started talking. I got pregnant so fast. And I got an abortion. Something that I was totally against. Something that I just did not believe in at all. I never get an abortion, right? Get the abortion. Because I was like, I'm not finna be having no 2 kids at 17 years old and I ain't even graduated yet. So mind you, I was 16, got pregnant with Lala, had her at 17, and then ended up getting pregnant again at 17 later on, and going into my 18 year, and then I end up having, okay, all right, so let me back up because I don't want to go too fast, because as I'm talking, everything is replaying in my, I can vividly see everything. So I got pregnant again, okay, at 17. I'm now 17. Got pregnant, and my other 3 kids dad was 25. So I always had a thing for older guys because it just was my thing. I just felt like they could handle me more, and I just was always attracted to an older man. So I don't want to get off track here, so let me keep going. So whatever. Have Lord Jesus. I had the abortion, y'all. And when I had the abortion, I felt so sick to my stomach because I had the knowledge that I just killed an innocent person, a child. And y'all know that clinic on the boulevard used to be jam-packed. So I'm up in there, nervous as I don't know what, and this is my first time ever having an abortion at this point. And this girl up in there, she was like, "Oh, girl, you can be all right. This is my 7-1. Like, you gonna be all right." I'm looking at her like, "What? It's 7-1, sis." Like, oh, she's like, "Girl, yeah, I don't want no kids right now." I was like, wow, because it affected me, and it affected me so bad because I was like, dang. When I was nervous for one, but when I went back there and got the abortion, I was so uncomfortable. I think I had did that little pill thing where they give you the pill or whatever, and then you wait a few minutes and you go back, and yeah. So I was like so uncomfortable, right? And well, hold on. When I first got there, you had people outside with signs like, "Don't kill your baby, it's against Jesus to stand third." So that already made me emotional, and I was already scared. Imagine I'm young, but in my mind, I'm like, I ain't having no 2 kids at 17. I ain't graduated high school yet. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was totally against it. He did not want me to have that abortion. He was very upset with me. He was mad with me. He didn't want me to have it. But I just was like, I can't do this, right? So I'm going to back, lay on that cold table that they lay you back on, and have your feet up so they can, do the abortion. And I just remember feeling so much pressure, right? But I also remember in my mind, like, this is so wrong. Like, why are you doing this? Like, back and forth battling in my mind. But I just felt like I'm not having those 2 kids at 17. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, and so the man, I felt pressure when he went to go start the procedure. I felt so much pressure, and I was telling him it hurt. So he just was like, "Well, this is what you wanted." Straight, like, this is what you wanted. That's what that man said to me. And I just remember those words making me so sick to my stomach, because when that man went to go start that procedure, y'all, I could hear like stuff was cracking as he was vacuuming. It just like I heard like a crackling sound, and I could never for a very long time get that sound out of my head, because mind you, when I got my abortion, because I was so undecided, I went like the day before the very last day where I couldn't get it. You get what I'm saying? So I waited real late, because I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to do it or if I wasn't gonna do it. But anyway, I went through with it, y'all. I was so sick. I ain't eat for 2 weeks. I mean, I promise you, I didn't eat. I just lay in the bed and cried, and I just felt like this awful person. Like, how could you do that to an innocent child that didn't ask to be here? But again, I'm like, I ain't having no 2 kids at 17. Period. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, had an abortion, right? I started back coming around, getting my stuff together, you know. Took some time to mentally get it together, because I just could not forgive myself for what I had done. And at that time, I didn't even know that was like, you know, one of God's commandments, thou shalt not kill. I wasn't even thinking about it in that perspective. Like, you still murdered somebody. Like, you still, you know, that's a sin, you know. So however, I did all that to start, you know, like I said, I started coming back around, getting my stuff together. We at this point, me and my other baby daddy, we together now. We staying together, living together, all that, whatever. And I did all that just to turn right around and get pregnant again. And I got pregnant again. And I was like, well, I definitely ain't getting rid of this baby, because what that trauma I just went through, all that pain I just went through for doing what I did, I couldn't do that again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pregnant again. So now at this point, y'all, I got a baby, pregnant again. They like, if you was gonna turn right around and get pregnant again, what you get rid of the baby for? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the question that kept on replaying in my mind. And my aunts and my mom and all them was like, that was just stupid. You get what I'm saying? But whatever, it happened. I'm young. I'm young. So going to work, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm still working. I'm working at Fairfield Commons Mall, when the old, what was it, Rainbow X Fashion, one of them. I was going there, going to school in the daytime, getting out of school, working. I used to get out of school early, my last year of school, right? So I get out of school on, I think it was odd days, I got out at 12, even days I got out at 10. So whatever day it was, when I got out of school, I go straight to work at the mall, all the way to the mall closed, every day, do it all over again. And at the time, my baby daddy was the manager at Food Lion. And so, you know, did that. Going to school, got one baby, pregnant with my other one. But I tell y'all what though, I walked that stage and got my diploma though. Got one, pregnant with the other one, but I definitely got my diploma. But however, I'm missing the most important part. So when I was pregnant with my second child, she wasn't growing like she was supposed to in my belly. I had all type of complications. I was very high risk with that pregnancy. I had her early. She was premature, and I had my oldest daughter full term, but I had my baby girl Mimi preemie. She was premature. I had her early, and they were saying once you have a premature baby, that you will always have a premature baby, right? So okay, went through the complications, went through all that, you know what I'm saying, and so I had my daughter, but she was early. When I had her, she was 2 pounds. She could fit, you can hold her in the palm of your hand like this. Literally, that's how small she was. So when I had her, nobody wanted to hold her. They was scared it was going to drop her. I mean, she was that little. And so she had to stay in the NICU. You know what I'm saying? She stayed in there for about 2 months. So, you know, I had like a breast pump. I had a breast pump milk. You know, do everything that I could do so I can get my baby home, because when I had her and had to leave at her at the hospital, I was so sick, y'all. I was like, no, like, I don't want my baby staying here. Like, I was scared about babies getting switched. All type of things was running through my mind. But then I felt so bad, because I was like, I felt like I'm being punished. Like, this is the consequence of me getting that abortion, because now I can't carry kids full-time no more. Full-term no more, because it was like something is wrong, like where the baby just wouldn't grow to, like, I could be, for instance, 5-6 months, and the baby just will not grow to the birth weight it should be at that however months I am. Pretty much, that's the best way to explain it. And I kept going back and forth to different doctors, different specialists, and they just couldn't find out what was wrong. But they was like, you're not gonna be able to carry kids full time anymore, because my uterus is upside down, you know, some type of way they explained it. And I just was like, dang, that's the consequence of me getting an abortion. So I felt so bad. I felt guilty. It ate me up each and every day. You know what I'm saying? That I had to go visit my daughter in the hospital. I couldn't bring her home. I had to pump milk. So I called the hospital all day long. I was up there every day, all day. My sister would take me. At this point, I won't drive yet. So my sister would take me, me and my baby daddy would go up there when he get off work. You know, all that type of thing. And then we had 2 more kids. So I had two boys. So by the time I was 22, y'all, I had 4 kids, okay? Basically, in a nutshell. Young, like I said, young, still don't know how to be a mother, but I was a mother, and I just grew with my kids. But I just remember being so protective over them. Not, you know, I didn't let my kids spend out of people's house. For real. Like, my Aunt Rita, God rest her soul, they definitely could go over there, but they ain't really go over nobody's house. I just always had my kids with me. I just remember, like, just loving on them and just wanted to give them everything that I never had. Wanted them to give them the world, just like those my babies. Couldn't believe that I had them. A lot of times I couldn't even believe that I was a mother, right? And I would go so hard. And first and foremost, y'all, I always had dreams of being an actor. Like, I wanted to act. Like, that was my thing. But when I had the kids, I was like, you know, I got to do something to, you know, to provide for my family. Because at this point, I got a whole family. You know what I'm saying? So I went into the nursing field, whatever. And I just went hard. Like, what motivated me and kept me to go hard was my kids. Like, even when the times when I was tired of working long hours, I just like, my kids ain't asked to be here. And that always played in my mind. My kids ain't asked to be here. My kids ain't asked to be here. So I had to go hard. It was like, go hard or go home. So I made sure that I went hard. I made sure I got up, went to work each and every day, 16-hour shifts. I'm talking about, I didn't play no games. If you know, you know. I went hard for them kids, and I just wanted to make sure that they had everything. Everything. I didn't want them to want for nothing, to lack nothing, to ever experience not having lights, water, not having food. Anything that I ever experienced, I just did not want that for my kids. So my mindset was always to go hard to go home. My mindset was always to protect what's mine and to just give them everything. You know what I'm saying? Things that I might have wanted and longed for when I was younger coming up that I didn't get. You know what I'm saying? I made sure that I was able to do that for them. And I made sure that I showed them that over and over again, you know? So that's just a little backstory. And then I'm going to move forward. So basically, you know, again, I didn't raise my kids in church. Once I left my kids' father, because mind you, I was having kids from 16 all the way to 20. By the time I was 22, I had 4 kids. So when I hit the streets, I was wild. Yeah, it was up. Yeah. And if you know, you know. I'm just being honest, open, and transparent, and that's what it was. And I didn't raise them in church, like I said. I didn't teach them the things about God. I was just so caught up into the world. I was just so focused on, oh, I'm doing me. You know what I'm saying? I had lost one of my brothers in 2011. My other brother came home from the feds, and we were just out here partying, having fun, having a ball. So again, I was a young mama, still a child myself, basically, with kids. And I had a lot of support, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of support with my children. So many people loved my children. And I always made sure I did my motherly thing. But then, you know, after that, it was me time. You know, I did whatever I wanted. Once I left my kid's father, I did what I wanted to do. And so, with that being said, I did a lot of things. I opened up a lot of doors that I shouldn't have. Exposed them to maybe too much. You know, I was a heavy weed smoker, so I smoked weed all the time in front of them. We always had parties or gatherings at my house, and it was like a lot of weed smoking, a lot of drinking alcohol all around them. And so, you know, they saw that. The music, my choice of music, you know, we was listening to that trap music. We was doing that. And they was exposed to all that for so many years. And then, mind you, they see my brothers and my brother's friends and cousins and their friends and his friends and my friends and their friends and, you know, all that type of thing. And so, you know, they saw that a whole lot. So, again, I didn't always set the example, you know. And I might have exposed, I exposed them to too much. You feel me? And for that, I take full accountability and responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Because I did do that. I owned up to it. I owned up to it once I got into a place where, okay, I'm tired of living this way. After my last brother died, okay, I'm tired of living this way. And God, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to give you all of me. I can't do it by myself no more. I'm going to let you step in because my way ain't the way. And I did a total 360 and I allowed God to change me and make me whole and to do the work within me, to process me, right? Then, and I try to start, you know, making them go to church and the things of God and, you know, exposing them to what they should have, you know, been in the first place. And that's just into the things of God. And giving them that foundation and learning about Jesus and, you know, all that type of thing. They looking at me like, girl, you all high and sanctified and holy all of a sudden now, like, you ain't been doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been like an uphill battle of constantly talking to them, speaking life into them, teaching them how to pray, teaching them the word of God, teaching them the Lord's Prayer, sitting around the bed praying with them at night, having open door policy about how they feel, what they feeling, and allowing them to express themselves out, allow me listening to them and then receiving what they say and then them getting them to listen to me to receive what I'm saying. And it's just been a back and forth thing with them about that. And like I said, I take accountability. I take responsibility that for my part, for my actions, for the things that I exposed them to early on. But then when I got it right and got saved into the things of God, I did nothing but set that example. But listen, the tone was already set. I had already showed them how worldly I could be. They didn't see that saved side of their mama until now. This what my third year. But I didn't really go real hard with God until starting last year after Sean passed in 2023. But before that, I got baptized in 2022. So what I'm saying is I had started making a transition and setting the example within my home and teaching them the things about God. But Mind you, they was teenagers at that point. So it's like, girl, it's going in one ear and not the other. But I'm prayerful. So I stayed in prayer. I stayed fasting because God is a restorer. You know what I'm saying? He's a way maker. He's a promise keeper. He's a miracle worker. So he can do anything. So as long as I was setting the example within my home, as long as I was like, oh, this is what it's going to be, and this is how we going to live from this point forward, and I sat and had those conversations with them and those talks with them, I'm thinking that, you know, I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing right. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how much I talk to my kids, and it's not even my boys, it's not girls. So my heart is really heavy because I don't want a toxic relationship with my daughters. I don't want my daughters to not feel loved, or that they gotta go out here somewhere else and search and find this, that, and the third. I tried my best, and I'm still trying my best to give that to them at home. So needless to say, my 18-year-old, she tried it first. She was 16. She tried me. I had to put her down. 17, once she started getting close to that 18-year-old mark, because you got a curfew, I don't want certain things played in my house. I don't want to hear all that back and forth and stuff between sisters and brothers, y'all bickering about nonsense when I done buried 3 brothers that I can't never ever see again. It's just like, you gotta, I'm gonna allow you to have some freedom, but you got a curfew. I'm not your friend, I'm your mother. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't understand the sacrifices that I made, the things that I done pushed around and stopped, moved around, didn't pay to keep a smile on their face. How I came through and make every single birthday happen. Everything that has to do with them, how I'm there supporting them through it all. Uplift them, speak life into them, motivate them. Here every single time they need me for whatever, whenever, however. I'm that mama. Right? So once she 18 now, but once she was creeping up on the 18, I ain't gotta listen to you no more, because the different crowd of people she hanging out with, the music that she's listening to. That's why, God say you gotta be careful what you let into your eye gates and your ear gates. Even pastor talk about that. Like, certain stuff just don't need to be played in the house. And so, mind you, as I'm making my transition and I'm becoming this new person, this new creature in Christ, I'm cutting a lot of stuff out. A lot of things that we used to do just ain't going no more. As for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. But I mean, every day we praying. Every day, we having family time. It's an open door policy. I'm speaking life into you. I'm listening to you. You're listening to me. You don't voice none of that stuff when it's an open door policy right in your house. I speak life into you. I love you. I show you that. I prove that to you over and over and over again. But then you get with this crowd of people, and now because they can do whatever they want to do, because they ain't got nobody on top of them saying you ain't coming in my house at this time, you got a curfew, you still in school, so you gonna finish school first, you ain't doing this, no, you ain't spending out of nobody's house, this, that, and the third. And now I treat them like prisoners, and they can't do nothing because you want to break free, because you want to see what's out there. Right? Okay. I was a teenager once too. I was very rebellious. Very. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And so now the disrespect come in. Oh, now you this person that you on like that that was a couple years ago, baby. But I ain't always set the example. And I apologize over and over to you about it. I don't sit and have conversations so to make sure that we got an understanding. I'm always asking you how you feeling, what you feeling. Let's talk about it. I'm taking you out so we can sit and have our one-on-one mommy-daughter time. Like, all those moments and times was for you to be real, open, and honest with me. Not out here telling a whole complete different story, like, and painting me out to be this bad person, or this mama that I'm not, that painting me out to be just an awful mom. And this is like, what happened? What we doing? Like, you understand what I'm saying? But once the word gets a hold of you and you get that, that's kind of what happened. So once my other children see the oldest one act that way, and you know, she thinks she's doing her big one, and she disrespects me in the worst way possible. Then you got my 16-year-old. Now she want to do it, and she got this little boy in her head, and she don't want to listen to nothing her mama say, and she want to be disrespectful, and she want to be talking back, and she want to bring up the past, the things I used to do in the past, and she want to make it like we got the worst relationship ever, but we never had no worst relationship ever. I did nothing, absolutely nothing, but speak life into these kids, but bend over backwards for these kids. When I say my life surrounds my kids, anybody who know me knows that about me. I don't gotta prove nothing for social media. It's the truth. I don't play about my children. And to get disrespected in the worst way possible, and for my 16-year-old to swing on me, and I had to put hands on her, it hurt me to my core. Disrespecting me in the worst way. I mean, the worst way possible. I'm not even gonna get into all the details. And now my name is being slandered. I ain't never been a good mom. I ain't never been this. I mistreat them, and you know, all the lies. And people is actually listening to this, and they actually running my name in the ground. To deal with that type of hurt and pain from children that you dedicate your whole entire life to, it was a pain. It is a pain. It's been extremely the hardest thing ever, because I never want to be that mother that they painted me out to be. And I understand that I didn't always do everything or always set the example. Like I said, I own that. I own that over and over and over again. I own it over and over again. And I've apologized for it so many times. But now it's being used, and ran in the ground is being used because it's manipulation, right? So Mother's Day come, and I honestly didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do nothing for Mother's Day. I stayed in the house from Friday to Sunday, and I just was like, where did I go wrong at? Then now both of my daughters have turned on me. Both of my daughters is no longer residing in my household. When we was just the best of friends. I just didn't understand. And I was like, God, I cried out to God. I stayed and I cried out to God. I stayed and I cried out to God. And I just cried. My heart was so heavy. It was hurting so bad. And I just cried out to God. Right? And then thank God for praying warriors. Like, if you ain't got some people that can pray for you, If you ain't got some people in your circle that when you're dealing with a situation that can go to war in the spirit with you and for you, you need to check your circle. You need to check your circle, because I don't even have to voice that something is going on. They just know. And they be like, you crossing my mind, everything, guy, I'm just checking on you. I'm finna go in. Like those people. And then my spiritual mama. I call her my spiritual mama, right? Because she always come through with a message, with some encouragement. And it's like, it always be right at the time when it's needed the most. And I be like, my God. Despite how everything is, God always still come through, right? So, I sat in the house, and when I tell you the thoughts start consuming me, I started becoming guilty of that I didn't have my kids raised into church early on and made God, important to them early on in life. And I felt like, dang, I did it too late. But it's never too late. And so I began crying out to God. And I'm like, God, my heart hurts so bad. I would do anything for these kids. And for them to treat me and disrespect me and lie on me, it hurt me to my core. Because I birthed them kids. I'm a whole single mother. And so I cried out to God, and I was just like, God, you gotta help me. Because then the suicidal thoughts started coming. I was like, if my own kids feel like this about me and could do that to me, what am I living for? But that's the attack of the enemy, right? Because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but God comes that we have life and have it more abundantly, right? So you have to be mindful of that. So I just cried out to God, and my heart was so heavy. And I heard it so bad. It hurt me to my core. Like I said, I just felt so suffocated. I didn't know if I was coming or going. All type of thoughts was going through my mind. I just felt like I was the worst person in the world. But then the peace of God came over me. The more I was open and honest and admitting to my wrongs and my faults, and and I know it would be selfish of me if I was to sit right here on this couch right now and take my life, but that's how I felt. So then my sister called, and she was like, you coming out, come on, we going. And we had already bought the tickets early, and I was like, nah, I just don't want to go. I just want to sit in the house. Like I'm just not in the mood. My heart, I'm hurting. And she was like, which is even more the reason why you need to come out the house. So I contemplated back and forth for a while. I went back and forth with her for a while. And I was like, okay, I'll go. She was like, yeah, we just need to get out and go. So, but before I told my sister I was going to go, I was back and forth with God and talking to him and just laying everything out, all my feelings and my thoughts and everything. And then it came to my mind how Judas betrayed Jesus, right? But God already knew what was going to happen because, he had to fulfill an assignment. And I'm like, God, I've been through a whole lot, right? But this is like the ultimate betrayal right here. Because there's absolutely nothing that I wouldn't do for them kids. Absolutely. And as hard as I go for them kids, and y'all go and praise another person that ain't give you life, that don't take care of you, that don't come running that ain't gonna never love you like your mama gonna love you. And so I was like, God, you gotta help me, because I don't know how I'm gonna get over this one. Right? And so God was like, you love him anyway. He said, yeah, it hurt, but you love him anyway. Yeah, it hurt, but give him grace. And so I'm up here like, nah, it just ain't no coming back from this one. When a child feel like that they can disrespect you, and not only disrespect you, but go to swing to put hands on you, and you birth them, I just don't know how I was gonna come back from that one. I just was like, nah, and on top of that, to add insult to injury, now you slandering my name and with a whole nother person. And I'm not gonna get all into that, but to tell lies on me, to tell people I never was a mother to y'all, and it's not about the materialistic stuff and what I do, because I don't show everything that I do, but mother always gonna go hard for their children. Because even when daddy leave and decide he don't want to be here no more, guess what? Mama's still holding it down. Even when daddy make a decision to be taken away from his family, mama's still gonna be right there. And every time you get in a bind, who you call? Every time something going wrong, who you call? Mama. And what mama do? Come running. What mama do? Bail you out. What mama do? Be the problem solver. What mama do? Come through in the clutch every single time. What mama do? Move things around. Because you more important to me. I can wait. I put me last all the time. Because I'm mama bear, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to protect what's mine. But then when the world get a hold of them, and friends and boys and all that type of thing get a hold of them, then it's it's the hell with mama, right? And so I got the revelation from God, like, as I was just thinking and pondering on things. And the same way God made a sacrifice, he gave his life for us. He died for our sins, because sin equals death. So that means the first time we sinned, we would have been gone a long time ago. Hey, he not came and paid the price, right? And what we do? We turn our back on him. We betray him. We lie to him. We say, okay, God, if you get me out of this, I'm going to come back and I'm going to serve you. I'm going to do whatever you ask me to do. Once he bail you out, the situation, what you do? You go back to what you was doing. Then you get into another bind. And what he do? He come through. Then you go back to doing what you was doing. And what he do? He love you anyway. He give you grace, because his grace is sufficient. He clean you up. He pick you up, just for you to go back and do it all over again to him. Just for you to go back to that same person that you know ain't meant for you, ain't good for you, who toxic. But that's what we do. We put God in a box, in a corner, and when we need him, then we want him. But when things going good, oh God, you good over there? Yeah, I said I was going to do that, but you know my heart, I'm going to go back over here though, because that's I'm feeding my flesh. And what God do? Love us anyway. Oh, you gonna learn. You gonna learn what you need to learn from this situation. There will be consequences. I understand that. But he's still gonna accept you back. He's still gonna love you. And so when God said love him anyway, I just didn't see how I was gonna come back from that. Not all the stuff they just did. But then I got the revelation that that's what I did with you. Every time you ran off the deep end, every time I got you out of that toxic situation, that abusive relationship, you out here fornicating, partying, abusing my temple, putting anything in it, letting anybody touch it, doing whatever you want to do. I accept you. I love you. I give you grace. And my God, y'all, I just cried so bad when I got that revelation. I cried so bad because I'm like, I keep focusing on these kids hurt me. And never, ever, ever, ever did I expect for my kids, my daughters, to do me like that. Like I'm just nothing. Like I'm just nobody. Like I won't never there for them. Now I could see if you grew up like that. If I wasn't present, if I wasn't there, then I can understand some of this. But a mother who bent over backwards, who makes sacrifices, who go hard. I'm at work right now. Been here since 3, don't get out till tomorrow morning at 7. When I say I go hard for my babies, I make it happen. And for y'all to do me like that, God said love him anyway. So I just been crying out to God every day, allowing God to help me with my pain, help me with this hurt, because I feel it in the pit of my stomach, right? And I just been allowing God to really, really deal with me. Because I have to forgive him. Because if I don't forgive them, he ain't going to forgive me. I have to. I got to forgive him. And it hurts so bad. But I got to forgive him. And not only do I have to forgive him, I got to make things right with my daughters, because the mother that's in me, I'd be damned if I'm going to let the world have them and chew them up and spit them out like it did me. I'd be damned if I'm going to allow them to experience stuff that I experienced. Because they mine. I'm their mother. God is a restorer. He will restore our relationships. I have faith. He is going to heal my heart because it's broken for real. Truly. Yeah. There ain't really too many words I can put into my feelings and how I feel. But I just felt, my heart was so heavy. But I felt led to come and share it because I know I'm not by myself. I'm not. I talk to so many people and everybody's having some issues. Whether it's with their children or whatever it may be. So I know I'm not by myself. And whoever else is dealing with something similar or whatever you may be dealing with, you ain't by yourself either. But just go to God. He is the way, the truth, and the life. He is the only way. And He will see you through it. Because right now, I'm just leaning on God. Not on my own understanding. Because I don't understand none of this. But I'm able to get through each day. Because every day I'm crying out to God. Take out of me anything that does not align with your will, God. help me to be better. I thought I was being better. I thought I was doing the right thing by setting an example, by changing my ways, by surrendering. I thought I was doing the right thing. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that they should go, and when he get older, he will never depart from it. I didn't do it then, but I spent the last 2.5 to 3 years doing it. And I just trust and believe that the 2.5 to 3 years that I've been, transitioning and getting it together, that they've heard me, because I have set the example these last years. And I have taught them. And I have spoken life into them. And I've had many talks with them. And with that being said, I just trust God. And I've been crying out to God, like, God, I'm tired. He said, don't grow weary in well doing. I'm like, but I'm tired, God. I'm just tired. I'm tired of doing all this by myself. It's been extremely hard. I'm tired of the bare minimum. Like, I know what you called me to do. It's a calling on my life. Many are chosen, but only a few are called. I'm chosen and called. And I know that. I'm aware. And I know there's an assignment that has to be fulfilled. So with that being said, I've been crying out to God, and he keeps saying, just go deep. Spring forth. God will give us pieces. And it's up to us to do what we need to do with the pieces he gives us. A lot of times we think that we waiting on God. You're not waiting on God. God waiting on you to move your feet. He said we walk by faith and not by sight. And so, throughout this whole situation, I'm no longer doing the bare minimum. I'm no longer staying closed up. I'm no longer being like, oh, I don't want to share that or say that because I don't want people all in my business. At this point, it ain't about me. I know I'm not by myself. Everybody's dealing with something and going through something. I'm not ashamed. I'm fearless, but I'm not ashamed. And this too shall come to pass. And it will. It most definitely will. So moving forward, I'm stepping out on faith. I'm walking boldly into who God called me to be. I don't fix my crown. It just stops here. I'm springing forth like he told me. And he will restore my relationship with my daughters. I know it. So for now, I'm going to focus on the calling on my life. I'm going to focus on what God wants me to do. And that's why I feel that sometimes that betrayal, that hurt, that pain will lead you to your next. Y'all be blessed. I pray that me sharing this really bless somebody. Just know that you're not by yourself. Give it to God. Allow him to really, really do the work in you. And the only way to do that is just by surrendering. You can't give it to him and pick it back up. You give it to him and you leave it there and just allow him to work. And whatever you do, just focus on God. I love y'all.